Hello, 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 and welcome to a live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. I hope everyone is enjoying their Wednesday. Happy hump day, halfway through the week. And I see one of our rescued tigers, that'd be the one, the only rescued tiger, Dash. Well, enjoying the spoils of living at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Caretakers just set out some unique enrichment just for Dash. Looks like he's found his bloodcicle, a common favorite among many of our big cat, all of our wildcat rescues. It just depends on the size we're making the bloodcicle. And then he was also foraging some food. Dash had part of his diet put in his habitat here. So Dash is getting his meal and some mental stimulation from his enrichment, and we're looking forward to hanging out with the folks this afternoon. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Faith Warner's here. Sarah Bloomberg says, hey, hey. Susan Mensa. Thank you, Faith, for tagging Kristen Hurt. I know she loves this special dude, Dash. And darn it, I want to apologize. Yesterday, everyone, it wasn't even too hot of a day out, but I must have had some direct sunlight on the iPhone. We were doing a live post with Bruno and Lloyd and Fiona, and the phone overheated, and I couldn't get it back on. So sorry if we lost you kind of unceremoniously yesterday. It was not intended.
No, a little bit unexpected, but I do think it was the sun glare, Judson.
Yeah, that's right. Hinata telling Dash not to tear up his mom's gazebo too much. Winona loves that thing, and boy, does she ever. And that's right, Hinata. Dash and Winona doing a little bit of a TWS switcheroo. We would have learned last week that Winona had some abnormality in her gait, and we were kind of getting a closer look at her and wondering what was going on, and in the process of that, getting her to a smaller, more condensed space to where she still has her indoor bedroom and she still has an outdoor space, but kind of limiting that mobility as we get her to recover. And so Dash, of course, is kind of a very go-with-the-flow cat. He had no problem switching over habitats here temporarily until Winona recovers fully. And then Dash will be back to his former habitat and Winona back to her former habitat.
Dash is making quick work of this scatter feeding.
He is, Olivia. Yeah. So he's kind of picked up a few pieces so far.
Yes.
Why don't you kind of describe what was going on with this blue ball here? He unfortunately kind of cleaned it up.
Yeah,
he
did.
Looking forward to showing it to folks. But what was kind of lodged in some of those little holes?
There's some chicken pieces in there, and then in addition to the chicken pieces that were in those holes, it looks like either beef or venison kind of scattered throughout. Some Zupreme, which is essentially Wildcat wet food, Wildcat canned food. So he has quite the variety here. He just spotted some more of that Zupreme. But yep, chicken in that ball, but it did go quite quickly.
Well, and I, it kind of just looks like a wildcat's, dream of that ball has those kind of individual little holes in it there. And there were chicken legs sticking out of there, little drummies, very similar, and some of you might know, it kind of looked like those little lollipop trees.
Yeah,
Olivia,
actually, that's a good comparison.
That you might see at a candy store or what have you. And so I see those little chicken lollipops and just how fitting it is for a tiger.
It is, but I also like this form of enrichment, Judson. We offer enrichment in many different ways to our cats. You're seeing a form of it right now in the form of that bloodcicle, but puzzle feeders are important too, and something that we utilize often. You might use a puzzle feeder for your animals at home, and our big cats like it also.
Well, hey, handsome. Well, hey, handsome. He says, well, you're doing all this talking about me. I got to come up and give you a chuff hello.
And also investigate for more food.
I was going to say, he says, I smell the footprints of my caretakers. I smell maybe some scattered tuna, or some scattered Zupreme, rather. Hey, and thank you for the chuff, Mr. Dashy. Typical for Dash 2 to go and check in his indoor bedroom, wondering if maybe there's also some treats for him in there. But I wouldn't be surprised, Dash, if all the fun is outside. I can get into some comments while Dash is doing some recon inside. Jill Finney saying hi to myself and Olivia. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Dash offering you a big chuff hello as well. Trish Miros asking, how do you send stars? Trish, there should be a handy dandy button within the Facebook app that you're watching on right now. If I'm not mistaken, on kind of the lower portion of the screen, there might be a star graphic or a little button that you're going to be able to push, and you'll be able to send stars. Of course, we always love any type of support we can get here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, or we receive here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. But it is worth reminding, Dash might be going into his other yard here. We might have to chase him down, Olivia. But it is worth reminding that stars are done through Facebook, and you are purchasing the stars through Facebook, which means Facebook is taxing that transaction. So at the end of the day, more money is going into Facebook's pocket than the cat's pockets. Again, that's not to diminish any of the stars that we get, because they do make an impact. I would look at that monthly total from the stars every month, and it certainly is a good chunk. But at least it's nice to remind everyone of the different ways to help the cats, and kind of the effectiveness of either one. Well, Dash went on a little field trip into his other yard, but that doesn't mean that we don't have more planned for today's live post. Olivia, this is Bobcat Tao.
Yes.
And, you know, one might think that that's a pumpkin frozen into that ball, but what does Tao have here?
Well, it is a bloodcicle, and I do believe that's just a ball toy.
It is, exactly.
Yes. So just a plastic ball toy, but Tao, she enjoys enrichment just as much as the next cat. So she too has some supreme sprinkled around. She had some chicken as well. I don't think any beef or venison for her today, but still lots of goodies for her to explore. These balls down here, Judson, were stacked, so it looks like she made quick work of her chicken. Good
for that, Tao. I always like it when the cats play Jenga.
Yes.
Well, they're very
bloodcicle for Tao. Also.
It is. I love seeing that. And so Tao presiding over her bloodcicle. Looks like it's a bloodcicle fit for a tiger even.
Yes.
So she's gonna have her hands full. Looks like a lot of people commenting that no star option today. Well, that's no fun. But nonetheless, thank you guys for considering that, and knowing that our donate button's active is awesome.
And speaking of lots of ways to, you know, kind of give to the sanctuary, Judson, sharing and liking and commenting on these posts is another great free way to help us out too. Yeah,
I think you can kind of see proof of that even on this live. We're kind of hovering at around 30 people, jumped up to about 60. That's because everybody's commenting, everybody's liking the posts, everybody's circulating it on the social media sphere. Kristen Hertz, have no fear. Dash will be seen on this live post yet again. Dash has the old, what I call here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, the 2-for-1 special. Dash has not one, but 2 free roaming habitats. And he has all of his enrichment here in this habitat, but of course he went to go and check the other one as well. So we'll hang out with that, or rather Tao, for a moment as she laps up part of her bloodcicle here. And I already see that Dash has circled back around, and he has a bloodcicle just about the same size too.
I like this for you, Tao. That'll keep you busy today.
Yeah. So hope everybody's doing well. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Of course, while we're still on the topic of ways that you guys help us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, every week our wish lists are something we ask you to help us with. In particular, I always say that our wish lists are getting full. But today in particular, as I said, they are full. They're full and then some. So when we make our wish list post later today, I certainly encourage all of you guys to scan those wish lists. There's a Chewy wish list and an Amazon wish list, and perhaps see if there's an item you can help out with, because it is very much needed. They're overflowing, according to Tammy. Holy buckets is right, Kathy. That bloodcicle is almost as big as Tao here. And it certainly doesn't have maybe the as much volume of if that ball wasn't frozen into the center of it. That's kind of a cool new addition. I'm maybe looking forward, Olivia, to seeing something like this done. I know some bloodcicles have been being made in some designated large kind of industrial sized trash cans that we have. So imagine freezing kind of one of Thor Jr.'s favorite balls into something. Fun. That could be an enrichment very much worth enjoying.
I know I haven't seen this method yet, but I do like it. I think it'll be exciting for Tao.
It is. And Patricia A, what a great segue, saying hi to myself and Olivia. I love Tao, and you love Dasher, your sponsor boy. Well, let's go see how Dash is progressing on his bloodcicle. You can see really how big that thing is compared to Dash, or rather Tao. But let's see what this handsome man's up to.
Yeah, his really is. I think they're about the same size as hers.
He says, lickety split. I'm having my way with this thing. And if we could hear what it sounds like when Dash is licking that bloodcicle. Olivia, what would it sound like?
It sound like sandpaper.
Yeah, like running your hand across a piece of sandpaper.
If you have cats at home, then you know that they have it's not like a dog tongue. They have little spiky tongues, those little spikes of keratin on their tongue. They're called papillae, if I'm saying that correctly. But it's a cool adaptation that cats have to help them with grooming, to help them with feeding, and a unique feature that extends all the way up to these big guys too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, I always like thinking about how, these traits are helping the cats in the wild, and a tiger not knowing, a wild tiger that is, not knowing when their next meal is going to come, and without being too graphic, wanting to get every last drop of kind of meat from their kill. It's no wonder just how powerful those things are and how they really are able to strip back whatever they're working on.
Yeah, it really helps with their resourcefulness. And I also like that point, Judson, because as we're talking about feeding here today, sometimes we get the comments that, oh, that's not a lot of food for a tiger, but our cats eat a little bit differently than cats do in the wild. They're getting a meal every day, so that means they're not eating only once every week or 2 weeks like a cat in the wild might. They don't have to be as resourceful. They don't have to have as much daily food intake. So while 8 pounds or 10 pounds in Dash's case might not seem like a lot for a tiger a day, he's actually eating more than he would in the wild and more consistently. So just a little difference there and a fun fact.
That's exactly right. That's very insightful, Olivia. And looks like some more people are joining us and are so happy to see Dash enjoying a bloodcicle on this beautiful summer day. It really is marvelous out, everyone.
Summer day, I like that, Judson.
I think I got put in the corner after talking about winter the other day, and the wind's even picking up here for a moment, Dashers. But I'm going to say hi to Lisa Wallstrom. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Good morning to you. Thanks for joining today. Sherry Gillian saying good morning. Dash knocking over his bloodcicle there. Good morning, Sherry, and a good morning to you. Look at that, Cheryl Harden predicting the future here, saying, oh no, don't knock it off, Dash. Well, it looks like he did, and rest assured, Sharon, Dash is not deterred by a little grass on his bloodcicle. He will be going and making sure that that bloodcicle's seen to. Wendy Howes, a good morning to you, checking in from Northern California. What a beautiful part of the country. Hope all's well out in Cali, Wendy. Oh, Debbie Sams. Hey, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Saying love watching Dash. How could you not, Debbie? And while Dash is showing us his tiger butt here, let's make a quick U-turn and maybe get some bobcat butt, Olivia.
Yeah.
And then I might have you kind of talk about a post that we made this morning on our Facebook page, Olivia.
Okay.
Regarding us helping out with rehoming some Bengals in need.
Yes. Well, as we all know here at the Wildcat Sanctuary and our longtime supporters, the small cat crisis is very real, and the small cat crisis encapsulates essentially what's going on with small and medium cat species. Bobcats like Tao could even be encapsulated in this conversation of the surplus and exploitation happening in captivity, breeding of these small cat hybrids and cats like Tao, even up into these medium wildcat species. And so here at Sanctuary, our largest population of cats actually falls in our hybrid section. We have 56, I think was the number that Tammy told me, small cats and hybrids, which is a huge number. We have 140 plus cats here. 56 cats, that's a lot. And so that's why we're building Catio Town. That's why we've put up so much education on our social media, but still the calls come in. The small cat crisis is not slowing down anytime soon. And so the other day, Tammy was contacted about 4 Bengals in need. And these Bengals, similar to many of our other Bengals, were found in a home. They were unsocialized, feral, and they wouldn't do well in a home environment, not to mention the legality issues of having hybrids in different states and whatnot. And so this animal shelter was frankly not prepared for these cats and was not able to find them a home. So desperately looking for sanctuary placement. Lots of sanctuaries are at capacity, and we are one of those sanctuaries. We're sadly at capacity, but we still want to help. And so Tammy was able to arrange the transportation side of things, and we have 2 very, very generous volunteers driving from Minnesota all the way down to Cedar Hill Sanctuary in Mississippi another GFOS accredited sanctuary, part of the Big Cat Sanctuary Alliance, and those 4 Bengals have found a home there. So we're very, very thankful for Cedar Hill for taking on these cats, and of course for these volunteers who are part of that process, getting those cats all the way down to Mississippi.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that, Olivia. And that's, you know, very simply one of the things we are so thankful for are places like Cedar Hill that does have the capacity for these cats, that does know what's unfolding here, at least in the feline rescue world with the small cat crisis. So a big thanks to Cedar Hill Sanctuary, a big thanks to our volunteers who are going to be kicking butt and getting those 4 Bengals safely to sanctuary in Mississippi. And then a big thanks to you, our supporters. I saw some gifts on that post where we asked you to help defray some of the transportation costs, gas, lodging, and for those who have given on that post, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
And certainly a wonderful thing, Olivia, as we talk about the small cat crisis and, you know, doing it as a team and as a collective and working together with these other accredited sanctuaries to get these cats to a proper home. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very special thing to see, and I'm glad we're able to highlight that. And kind of like we mentioned, it really just underscores the small cat crisis. I think, you know, the frequency in which we hear these hybrid cat calls and small wildcat calls. But oftentimes it's really, we want to highlight too the teamwork that it takes to make this type of thing possible as we kind of wade and navigate the small cat crisis.
Yes, and honestly, you know, Judson, their story, when I saw it, kind of reminded me of Riku, Bestie, Xena, and Dahlia, who came to us in a similar grouping, unsocialized, and seeing them blossom at Sanctuary has been so special. So I'm very, very excited for these 4 cats that they have found permanent placement, and hopefully they too will find peace and happiness at Sanctuary. So very, very exciting for those cats.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Olivia. And I want to jump back into the comments for just a moment. I saw that Carol Hendricks was here on the live. And Carol, I know that we have been kind of going back and forth over Facebook Messenger on how to get these lives working. So Carol, I am elated to see you on the live and so happy that you can join us here in real time.
And you just retired, Carol.
Carol, congratulations. Big
That's
congratulations. So nonetheless, happy to see you here, Carol, and hoping to see you even more on some of these live posts we're able to do here on a daily basis. Let's get a different angle on this handsome man.
There's just while you're here, because I had just a little ADHD moment, okay? I heard from someone, and I do believe it was Lori, our Healing Touch volunteer, said, you know, have you ever noticed that Dash has some of the most symmetrical stripes of any of the tigers at Sanctuary? And I'm looking at Dash now, especially from this angle, Judson, and he is quite symmetrical.
All right, I agree.
It's not perfect, and no tiger has perfectly symmetrical stripes. That's not a characteristic that they have, but he really does. It's pretty on point there, Dash.
I'd say so. Yeah, and a very sleek summer coat as well, very Dash.
So.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Olivia, that is, I guess, something that I have never really taken into account that is unique.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so cool. I know that we kind of get to see the cats at all angles, but sometimes I feel like I don't get to see their backs enough. And I think the drone will allow me to kind of appreciate the tiger markings even more. Well, of course, he turned around for a second.
He's not one to show his face or his bloodcicle to the paparazzi.
Well, look at that. Gunnar Law. He says, I just logged on to hear you say my name.
There we go. I'm glad you caught that, Lori. And long time no see either, Lori. So I'm glad you caught that.
Speak of the devil. Kathy at the Rock. I believe it was Mohan who had gorgeous back stripes. That's right, Kathy. I even think, I believe it was Titan, the tiger, had these really cool, they looked like arrowheads.
Cool.
That I always will kind of come across on some of the older Dropbox photos that I think are very unique. And if I'm not mistaken, Nikita, the white tiger, I thought had some pretty unique markings as well.
Maybe we'll have to go down a little rabbit hole there, Judson.
Yeah, and that is cool. Just a reminder, is, you know, just like our fingerprints, just like a snowflake falling from the winter sky, all you know, every stripe is unique to that tiger. And if Dash, for some reason, if you were to shave Dash, which we're not going to do that, well, you would see that those tiger stripes go all the way down to his skin. It's another kind of unique little tiger factoid.
Well, and it's cool too, Judson, to kind of pivot just a bit, but tiger conservation in the wild has adjusted to kind of identifying tigers by their stripes too. It's been a great conservation tool. If they catch tigers on trail cams, they're able to identify what tiger it is and kind of keep a log for conservation.
Yeah, that's cool to think of this, knowing that that's very simply as a hard and fast way to identify these cats. Yes. Very cool. Very, very cool. Paul Stringer's here. Hey, Paul. Kathy at the Rock agreeing about Nikita and Titan. John Rather saying, I thought that was Dash. You bet this is Dash, John.
We're talking about a lot of tigers.
Yeah, we are. We're talking all types of tigers here, John, so I apologize if I'm catching you out of context here. But Dash is just lapping away at a bloodcicle. Katrina and her animal care intern, Morgan, were kicking butt today and working here in Roar Ridge. Yeah, Dash is tidied up Dash's yard a little bit, picked up that tiger poop, and of course, anytime our caretakers are in a space, they're going to make the time to put out some enrichment for Dash or whoever that they're occupying their habitat while the cats shifted out. So Dash is enjoying some of that enrichment, and they were here in Roar Ridge, which means they're also in Tao's yard. And around the corner, I know we just saw her last week, but I know Pandora had received a few bloodcicles or tunicicles as well. I want to get a look at Tao's beautiful mug because she's been turned around to us the whole. She says, "Well, I've been busy." Beautiful. I said, "You give me a bloodcicle the size of me, I don't know what to tell you."
Hi, lady.
You tell her. Yeah, you tell her, Miss Tao. And Tao is certainly one of those cats who we get to turn around and feel so thankful for the people who support us and allow transformations for cats like Tao. Tao was severely overweight before coming to the Wildcat Sanctuary, and I'm sure even Tao's story is one that many of you could probably parrot back to me. But the long and short of it, Tao is privately owned, Tao is four-pawed declawed, and Tao is overweight. And that's kind of an equation for arthritis and pain and a poor longevity in a wildcat like her. So Tao, when she came to the Wildcat Sanctuary, thanks to your support, we got her on a weight loss plan. We got her on an operant conditioning plan to help stretch out those tendons from the declaw. We've got her in a habitat that's specialized with extra steps and things that make it easy on those declawed paws. And as you can see, Tao is living her best life, and off she goes, disappearing into her habitat there. I think she knows that she can kind of bank that bloodcicle, Olivia. It's a mild day, and Tao's going to be able to kind of lick on that thing as much as she pleases here. We'll hang out for just a few minutes longer. Make sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. Phyllis Hunt checking in. Catching this very late, you'll have to re-watch. You certainly will, Phyllis. It's been a wonderful live here, hanging out with Dash and Tao, and we're talking a lot of tigers, Olivia. We did kind of talk some sanctuary updates about the transportation of 4 Bengals that we were helping out with to the accredited Cedar Hill Sanctuary in Mississippi, and then the tiger talk. I was really enjoying that tiger talk.
Me too. And just one more stripe observation I made recently, you know, since we're on the subject. Dash has turned his head. He has a very distinct L-shaped stripe on his side profile, and I went down a rabbit hole a couple days ago. I was like, oh, is this something that's unique to Dash or maybe some other tigers? And other tigers do have it here at Sanctuary. It's sort of an L-shaped stripe on the side of their face, but his is very, very similar to Daisy's.
Okay.
His face stripes look very similar to Daisy's, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know if that has any significance at all other than it's just a cool coincidence.
Dash was looking kind of dumb with his finger and his thumb and the shape of an L on his cheek.
Yeah. Not his forehead, but
little smash mouth shout out there. That's very observant, Olivia. I know that you're a very astute and observant individual, but you're really shelling it out here.
I have all these little thoughts throughout the day, and sometimes they're worth sharing, sometimes not.
Yeah. Let's see here. I saw a few others kind of joined us here. Emily Rose saying, "Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day." We certainly are, Emily. I'm looking forward to catching the rewatch since I'm on the tail end. You certainly will, Emily. Kind of talked a lot about a lot of things, so we'd love to have you. Brenda Smith saying, "Dash the Destroyer. I love that big kitty. He's so beautiful, isn't he so?" And Sheila Cornsmith, I love this. Tao has come such a long way from her early days at TWS. She likes that bloodcicle, even if it's as big as her. I think Tao's one of those cats to where if we were to let Tao into the big 20 by 20 foot freezer that we have, I'd probably say about 24 hours later we'd open it up and Tao has eaten every last morsel in that freezer.
I think bigger is better for Tao in every way. She's in a pretty large habitat. She's a very cunning little lady. She likes a lot of food. Bigger is better for Tao.
Tracy F, I really appreciate this. Can we make a donation for gas on the website? Yes, Tracy. That's if you would like to help with some of the costs of transporting those 4 Bengals, our website would be an excellent place to do that, as well as the post that we made this morning. So thanks for asking that, Tracy. Awesome, awesome. Well, cool, everyone. I think we got to all of our hellos, and now it's time for some goodbyes. Dash is working away at his bloodcicle. I'm going to zoom out one last time, show you all the space that Dash is working with. And like I said, he's on the 2-for-1 special. So Olivia, it's probably going to be a bloodcicle in this habitat and then a dip in the pool in the next. So
absolutely. Yeah, we can probably foresee the day.
Yeah, he's got it all laid out in front of him. His tiger agenda is full with all the tiger tasks. All right, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in on today's live post. Thank you for engaging and learning about what's happening here at the Wildcat Sanctuary in all a variety of ways. And these live posts being an excellent way to do that in real time with the cats and people like Olivia and I. Means a lot to us. It means a lot to the cats and our mission and vision here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. So thank you all. But from now, have an excellent rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you back here at the Wildcat Sanctuary tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.